Good morning. Today is section 61, verses 1 through 10. And our little wheel here says that it was given August 12th, 1831, on the Missouri River at McIlwain's Bend. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's for the elders of the church at large, and the prominent doctrine or theme is destruction of the wicked upon the waters and Satan. So they've been commanded to leave Independence, Missouri, to go, I believe in the last one it said Cincinnati, to go to Cincinnati, and they were supposed to travel by water. The Lord says, I don't care how you take it, but go on. Well, it says that the elders started to murmur that Independence, Missouri was not what they thought Zion would look like. Blessings and miracles didn't occur like they thought they would, and they were murmuring, and contention arose as they were traveling down the river. Well, about 3 days in, Joseph and Sidney's canoe hit a sawyer, which is a partially submerged tree, and was nearly overturned. The rest of that day and much of the night was spent in camp sorting out hard feelings and attempting reconciliation between angry and offended parties. After the party left the river, W. Phelps saw a vision of Satan riding upon the waters of the river. And when I read the chapter heading, I was like, what does it matter if W. Phelps saw a vision of Satan riding upon the water? Well, a lot, actually. It has a lot to do with it. So, let's get into it. The Ludlow says this concerning verse 5. I have decreed many destructions upon the waters. The next morning, this is Joseph Fielding Smith quoting. The next morning, after prayer, the prophet received a revelation in which the elders received counsel in regard to their travels on the waters. It was stated that it was not needful for the entire camp to travel by water, while people on both sides of the river were perishing for want of the gospel. Then the Lord points out that there are many dangers upon the waters, and more especially on these waters, many of which were to come hereafter. So, in the verse 5, I'm trying to connect all the dots for myself and for you. Okay, so for it says, there are many dangers upon the waters, and more especially hereafter. For I, the Lord, have decreed in mine anger many destructions upon the water, yea, and especially upon these waters. He's saying that the Missouri River is very dangerous, but here is why. Since some of the Missouri elders had been rebellious the day before, the power of Satan had increased, and they had experienced difficulty in their journey. We too will find that contention invites the evil one. The elders had become vulnerable to Satan's power over the waters because of their murmuring, hard feelings, and lack of faith. If they had repented, they would not have become as vulnerable and could have traveled by water if necessary. Land was originally cursed, but had been blessed in the latter days, whereas the water was originally blessed, but the blessing was withdrawn in the latter days. The Lord declared that Satan has some power and control over the elements of the earth. Because Satan has certain powers over the elements, it is not wise to place ourselves in a position where his power can prevail over us. The vision of the destroyer seems to have had an effect on making the elders humble, and they sought the Lord to seek forgiveness. What I thought was interesting was this talk of Satan on the water, his control over the elements, things like that. I think in our family in particular, we've been raised, or we somewhere along the line, the concept that you don't go swimming on Sunday, or you don't play in water on Sunday, is because Satan has control over the water. That's kind of the concept that we've been raised with, and I think this kind of is where it comes from. Now, that's not to say that he does, and you can't like play in the sprinklers or a kiddie pool on Sunday, because I don't think that's what that's saying. I think this is saying that he does have control over some of the elements of the earth, which the Lord has decreed, and that you want to be careful about where you put yourself at certain times. And also here it says that contention invites the evil one. So when you mix elders being contentious and rebellious and murmuring on the waters, you can see how Satan can influence and direct his power over that. But I thought it was interesting that now I have some sort of like evidence, not evidence, but like a historical story that backs up this kind of like urban legend as to how we've been raised to not swim on Sunday or go canoeing on Sunday, something like that. Anyways, I found it interesting. Tomorrow is 11 through 20. We will see you then.